Hey, hi everybody. This is Coach Talk, and this is our very, very first podcast. I would like to introduce ourselves. I'm Dave, and I have the wonderful and lovely LJ sitting here with me. Hi, LJ.
Hi, Dave. Good morning. Welcome to our very first session.
Isn't this exciting?
This is very exciting.
Wow, the thing I love about this is going to be raw, and what we do and how we do it is pretty much off the cuff, and there's little rehearsing in what we do, and I think that's a real way to do it. How do you see it?
I love that. We've always had this amazing ability to bounce off each other and most importantly have a lot of fun as we go.
Oh, it's going to be clunky, and that's that's the whole thing about it, is what we do and how we do it is just going to be a natural, organic progression of a podcast where we hopefully have a bit of a laugh and have a message along the way as well in what we do as coaches in the space where we work.
Absolutely. And you can't see, but I'm nodding my head in agreement with everything you've said then. So I can't wait for getting visual, because that will help our audience a lot.
We'll have visual. You're nodding your head like those little bobble things on the dashboard of the car when you drive along, and it's up and down, up and down, up and down. So for those people, we will do visual. Eventually we will have audio and video, but we have to start somewhere, and here we are.
We do. I would really like to extend a great list of gratitude to you for leaning in and saying yes to this new adventure. And Dave, welcome to Coach Talk. Let's find out who you are.
Thanks, LJ, and you too. I think that we've known each other a long time, and it happened quite naturally where we went, you know what, and we did it. And the good thing about coaching is you and I encourage people to stretch themselves and to push themselves past what they think they can do, and that includes you and I.
Absolutely.
So I like that as well, and for me to do this is a stretch for me, and I think that it will be very exciting, and I will be challenged at times to do this. But I think as we talk our way through what we do, and we also serve other people in this space, I think it's going to be quite good for everybody.
Absolutely. And we both know that growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone.
No, it does not. So yeah, I'm very uncomfortable. No, I'm not actually. I'm just joking. Do you want to tell everybody about yourself, a bit of a bio about what you do and where you're from?
Great. My favourite subject in the world is talking about myself.
You'll love it.
It's a coaching thing. I think we're so interested in other people that we like to just be the cheerleader, and that's probably my philosophy in life, is to be the cheerleader for other people until they can step into that arena for themselves. Okay, a little about me. I've run a really successful business for a good number of years. I would love to say the number, but then it makes me sound really old, so I'm not going to. But I've got a wealth of experience in running my own business as well as high-level corporate, which I have loved every single experience. To be perfectly honest, every one of us has a story. And it's not the story that matters, it's the lessons that have come out of the journey. So as much as I really would love to tell you about my story, as sad and pathetic as it can be, because it reads like a really bad Disney novel, it's not what got me here. What got me here was learning the lessons and having absolute faith and trust in my own resourcefulness and my own ability to keep seeing the best in people, to keep wanting the best for people, and that's what launched me into coaching. So I like to say that I'm a bit of a coach with a twist. I love personal and business leadership, but I bring in my biomechanics and my bioconnection philosophies to help people find their way to themselves.
I love it. That's really cool. I learning about you as I've known you, you've just added more that I didn't know about you in that, so thank you.
You're more than welcome. And
you're very humble, because there's a lot more to you than people realise, and we'll probably dive off that cliff as time goes on, and we'll learn a bit more about you and your interests and what you do, and there's a lot of relevance in where you are today based on where you've been, which I love. Yeah, so just a little bit about me as well. I've been involved in training and mentoring for a long time. I was going to say the amount of years, but I'm going to take a page out of your book and just say, you know what, if I say that, I'm going to, how old I am. So, yeah, long time. And this has culminated in me being here now after a lot of study and a lot of work to become a coach. For me, people bandy around the word life coach. For me, it's probably not my favourite term, and I like to see myself as a high performance coach, and that is in all walks of life. I've worked with athletes and I've worked with individuals and groups, and high performance as in if you want to get somewhere and you want to achieve your greatness in yourself and you have that drive, then I will help you do that.
I love that. I really love that. Everyone has the capacity for high performance, don't they?
Absolutely, everybody. And interestingly, when you say to people, high performance coach, they go straight to thinking about finely tuned athletes or finely tuned race car drivers or motorbike riders, or it's actually just within yourself. And if you want to be high performing in any capacity in your life, you can. And it's something that we try to instill to people, that you can do it.
100%. Would you think that possibly the definition of high performance is untapped talents beyond your imagination that are highly achievable?
Absolutely, it is. People limit themselves based on thinking that they project to, oh, maybe I can't, or they cannot see a way to getting there, or they think that they haven't got the ability or the mental strength or the resilience, or there's so many things we can cover off on that, where if you strip it back to its barest essentials, it is a simple question of why not? Why can't you do this? And when you start to plant these little seeds in people's minds and get them to think about, actually I can do this, but we just got to figure out how we're going to get there. They take small steps, and those small steps culminate in a lot of distance being covered over time, and they look back over their shoulder and say, look how far I've come. Where instead of stressing about, oh, I just don't think I can do this.
But I think I love that. And one thing that came to mind when you were just saying the small steps is the parable about the tortoise and the hare, the good old turtle.
Yeah.
For those that have worked with me know that I am very encouraging of being the turtle in your own journey, because it doesn't matter how many steps you're taking. What matters is you're taking them. Small, big, indifferent, just take them. So hopefully with what we're about to launch into from today onwards, we will have that ability to connect with people and help them find their resourcefulness around taking actionable steps towards where they choose to be. And I think that's a good word too, choice.
Definitely. And I love that, because we are going to meet a lot of people in what we are planning to do, and there's discussion around this later on. We're going to meet a lot of people, and we are going to be exploring what makes them tick and what drives them, what holds them back. And we're going to also, not just in learning about themselves, but also discovering varied people in the community that have achieved and done so many things, and they might be what we've talked about ourselves, unsung heroes in the community. But where they're at and what they've done is extraordinary, and how they've got there. I think it benefits not just you and I, but everybody else that's listening, to understand that you can, and you do, and it is achievable. So,
And it's so much more than that, isn't it?
Definitely, it definitely is. And so this is exciting. And the funny thing, we're going to laugh a lot. I think we're going to laugh a lot. And the good thing about this is once we get started, we talk for ages. So I know we're going to cap our first podcast today, which we need to, because I know you and I, we can talk for a long time. How often when we catch up for coffees and we meet, we talk for how
6
long?
hours.
Yeah.
But we make great friends along the way. We know everybody in the cafe where we catch up intimately by the end of it, and the conversation is never the same, which is such a blessing. And I'm so grateful to the people that we've met so far, and even more grateful for the people we are yet to meet.
It's going to be epic. Epic. I agree. So, Coach Talk, the name Coach Talk, why did we come up with that? And for Coach Talk, we used it, TORQUEs and Talk, because we went over countless names, didn't we? We sat down at coffee shops and what I love about what you do is you write everything on napkins.
Yeah.
I love that. So we're planning on a napkin and we were writing down names and we're trying to figure out what do we call this, and we came up with Coach Talk. And we both loved it. And one reason for that is the definition of talk in its basic form. So talk can also be thought of as the ability of something that is rotating to overcome turning resistance. And that's talk. So if we put it into our coaching space and think about people and they're going straight ahead and they're resisting any change. They're resisting turning a different direction. They're happy to go along as they are and just stay as it is. But are they living their best life? Are they living or just existing, for example? So what I like about what you and I, hopefully we can do, is we create the change where they can take a turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And for those of us who are a little bit car nutty like you and I are, at least motorsport nutty, which I love that we have that synergy. Talk is also about a power band, as well as it about creating pressure that instigates change. And that was another really wonderful synergy that we brought into the name Coach Talk, resonating with both of us. There's always a pivot point in your world, which, if you want to get technical, is a talking point that levels you up, makes you think twice, and gives you the choice of going left, right, or straight ahead.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what direction you choose, but it matters that you choose one.
100%. And when you choose a direction, as you said earlier, LJ, you take those small steps and you start to take action there. And when you take action and see the results of that, it spurs you on to keep going instead of looking at the end result and saying to yourself, how do I get there? There's those little steps along the way, and having someone like us to champion you and encourage you and go, yeah, you did that, which is what we're going to do. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that with our podcasts and what we do, we will improve because we're raw and we're new, and this is going to be something for us, I think, is going to be new as well. So I'm excited with that. I'm excited that it's not a polished, 100% fantastic produced finished product. I actually like the fact that we're a bit raw as well, and we can just get out there and give it a go. So anybody can, and what we are hoping to do with other people out there is create a really great community of people that are trying to live their best life and really supporting each other as well as championing themselves and achieving. And that's something I think is going to be great. I'm
so looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to meeting the amazing souls that are going to cross our paths and finding that the most common thing that we all share is there's no such thing as perfect. And it doesn't matter where we've come from. What matters is where we go to.
Yeah, yeah.
So be the navigator of your own story, but drive your car as well. So most of us use a GPS. Most of us have a driver's license of some description, or we know how to drive a car, or we know the principles of driving. We often forget because we hand the wheel over to somebody else. And I think that this is going to lead in beautifully to another topic on another podcast that we have planned. But how many times do you actually hand the steering wheel over to somebody outside yourself and go, can you drive my car for a little while? You like the direction until you don't.
Yeah. And then what happens?
Crash. In a number of ways, it either goes against your values or you're at the complete mercy of somebody else, and you start to lose your own identity in that journey because it's actually not you driving the car. It's not you saying, I want to go to Coles, and I want the Coles with the bakery, and I want the Coles with the butchers, and I want to be able to walk through their gluten-free aisle. You lose that capacity to have choice when you hand the steering wheel over to somebody else. Yeah. So and it's not an if, it's we are both very compassionate and both very driven people to help others find the best of themselves, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I love the people that we both know that we've helped and worked with along the way who have actually had that opportunity to take control of their steering wheel in small increments, and yet life-changing.
100%. I'm just going to make a note of our next podcast called Who's Driving Your Car?
Or who's on your team, because you and I have, and this will be probably a running commentary through our sessions about the Hide the Body Friends.
Yeah.
Hide the Body Friends is such an important component in life, and it's very, very blessed that I have you as one of those people, because I know that the people in your circle, your Hide the Body buddies, they're in the arena with you. And Brene Brown, who's a wonderful author, she really mentions you've got to know who's in the circle with you.
Yeah.
You've got to have those people in your arena that you can trust, and you can ring at any time of the day, night, and just go, I need to hide a body, let's do this. No questions asked, and they will be there.
Yeah.
And sadly, especially in this day and age where we're so a little bit disconnected from each other because of technology, because of a whole host of reasons, which are, that's a whole other show on its own.
Yeah.
But knowing who to really trust, if we have to ask an opinion, to know that they'll give it to you straight, they'll give it to you raw, with all the love in the world, is such, I think, a lost art.
I agree, and that is a relationship to be treasured. I think if you've got someone who can call it how it is, and they still come from that place of love, that's something that, very, very special. Hide the Body buddies. I think of all the years I've known you, LJ, I think how often do I call you up and go, hey, Hide the Body buddy? And you'll see it on some Facebook posts and things. I'll just, HTBB, and I think we should get T-shirts made up.
Oh, definitely.
Hide the Body buddy T-shirts. Yeah, something like that. So, so there you go. Do you want to have a quick chat about our website, Facebook, Instagram, emails, things like that, and just let people know where we are at with that, because we're still in the process of building. Yeah.
We are still in the process of building the website. The website is there. It's not live as yet. It is under construction because nothing's perfect, but we were so excited about launching into this. We just said we're going to start because action is a step. Facebook, we have a live Facebook page that we will start putting some wonderful bits and pieces up for whoever chooses to come on this adventure with us, and there's plenty of room in the bus, and we can't wait to have you share your thoughts, your feelings on our Facebook page and Instagram. So our Facebook page is Coach Talk, that is TORQUE, and our Instagram page is Coach Talk, all one word. So follow us on Insta. Stay tuned for all the amazing, cool stuff we've got scheduled to come.
Yeah, lovely. And of course, we give everybody the chance, and we will, to feedback us as well. And we love connection. So during the journey here, we do want to hear from you and have a connection back. And this will develop into what I think is going to be something really special. Yeah.
I love that you mentioned feedback. Isn't that an interesting word?
100%. Yeah.
We welcome feedback because from that we grow and we learn and we develop together. It's okay if you're not our cup of tea and we're not yours. We're completely okay with that. We wish you well and with all the love in our hearts. And if you come back and cross paths along the way, fantastic. The only thing that we ask is respect.
Yeah.
So comment as much as you'd want to on our page, on our posts, but please keep it respectful and mindful of, at the end of the day, comments and feedback is welcome as long as it has a constructive point to it.
Absolutely. And please feel free to tell us how great we are, because that's just an important thing as well. So what I'm going to do before we finish off our very first podcast is I want you to be the first person that I ask this question to, and you know what's coming. And this will be something I will probably ask of our guests and people that we meet out in the wider public and everything else. It's an important question. It's something that for me is a life-changing thing, and it defines, I believe, who you are as a person, and it's very, very special to me. Do you have pineapple on your pizza?
I knew you were going to ask that question.
Do you have pineapple on your pizza?
I don't have pineapple on my pizza, and it's not a pineapple dislike thing. I just don't. Wow, how do I answer that? I love food flavors, and pineapple is a flavor that is just so awesome all on its own. So it doesn't need enhancing. It doesn't need to be on a pizza. That's completely my view.
I think we'll ask everybody we come across, and I'll be interested with all their answers, because very interested. Pineapple on pizza. There's a division of most definitely. Oh yes, and there's guys that no. There's no in between.
The nice thing is, it doesn't matter either way.
No.
It doesn't matter either way. It's just finding out a little bit more about you.
It's a great conversation starter.
Can I ask you a question?
You can.
I would love to know, because as you said, we have known each other for a little while. What advice would you give 80-year-old self, like your 80-year-old self, from your 8-year-old self?
From my 8-year-old self to my 80-year-old self. I would say a couple of things. I would say, first and foremost, take your time. Take your time. Nothing needs to be rushed. And when you take your time, it changes the way you view things, experience things, enjoy things. So, for example, if I'm going to meet someone for a coffee, or for you, for example, I don't rush out my door and just scream down the road, and I'll leave early, take my time. I might stop along the way. If I meet someone along the way, I know, or I take my time. And in doing that, there's less stress, less pressure. I get to enjoy and experience so many things in my day because I have time to do that. Instead of just focusing on my end goal, I experience along the way because I take my time doing that. The other thing too is not everything is as it seems.
That's a big one.
It's a big one. So people see something, and we're going to talk a lot about this in our podcast, but how someone sees their world doesn't mean it's actually what's happening. Their perception may not be correct. It may be off. So you can change your whole world by the way you view it. And if something's not working for you, something needs to be adjusted, you can do that purely by perception alone before you even take action, before you even do any physical change. It's the way you view it internally and the way you can change it around can make massive gains immediately before anything physical. So my 8-year-old, even though it's amazing an 8-year-old can say this, they must be Mensa qualified.
Insight's wonderful.
But that's a big one for me. Is nothing is as it seems.
I like
and
that.
Everything can be changed if you want to change your perception.
I like that. That reminds me of that saying, there's a million roads to Rome.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be done.
Thank you for the share. I really appreciate that.
You're so welcome. There is so much we are going to talk about. This is really cool.
Oh, it's so cool.
This is really cool. So I think we had fun. What we'll do is we will probably finish up. So our podcasts, I don't know, LJ, probably will go between 15 minutes, half an hour. Some may go a bit longer. Depends on guests and what we do.
Depends on guests and how much fun we're having, because the ultimate goal of this was to just have fun in a different space and find a way of sharing the messages that we both love for the people that we haven't met yet.
Yeah. I think we're going to meet some wonderful people, and that's something I'm really looking forward to, and getting them to share their life and their space with us.
Absolutely.
And everybody else, of course, as well. So thank you so much for our number one. It's done.
Woohoo, we've done it.
Yeah, we did it. And let's put some more up there. So our first one's done. Look forward to when we get all of our resources up and running, getting feedback, comments, encouragement as well from people that would love to contribute. And we do hope to hear from some of you. And let's see how we go with that. And yeah, thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy what we have planned for you all.
Fantastic.
That is awesome. Yeah. So yeah, we will we'll catch up and nerves. So, anything you want to add before we kick off?
I would just like to say, live your best life. You deserve it.
It's very true, isn't it? I might say that every day. Live your best life.
You deserve it.
Thanks, Sanjay. And I'll be talking to you soon.
See you soon.
All the very best.